Hey team, I just am not playing a proper episode right now. I'm just in the simulated universe, and I hopped into World 4 for the first time, and I was like, we may encounter a new god, because so far each time we go through a new world, a new god comes in, and literally the very first thing that happened after I killed an enemy was this came up. So IX9, for some reason you are suddenly sucked into darkness. This is a gravitational field where the curvature of space-time expands to its limit and nothing, neither matter nor light, can escape. You feel yourself being swallowed by some black liquid, a sea of darkness. Your hearing and smell are cut off, and everything becomes far away from you. Herta, hey, what's going on? You hear Herta's voice. There's something wrong with your brainwaves. Hey! You stretch out your fingers, but still can't touch the vast, dark sea. You feel like a piece of grease floating on a dark sea of sorrow. Cheer up, Ginger G. I guess 9, the Aeon of Nihilinity, has appeared. They are nothingness, so the system cannot detect their appearance, Herta says. Your spirit is affected because 9 is near you. You have meaning. You are an amazing person. You are loved and respected. You bring light and a future to our world. Now, keep playing the simulated universe, quickly! So, she's trying to cheer us up because we're overcome with nihilism. Herta's voice brings your distracted mind back. You only care about the simulated universe. Yeah, I forgot. She apologizes most emotionlessly. Sorry for making you uncomfortable. Give me a sec. I'll collect some more data on 9, and then I'll get you out right away. You hold your breath and try to stay focused. You seem to be able to hear toneless syllables deep in the void. It's their voice. You look around and you know they are nearby, but you cannot see their presence. Maybe they're right next to your ear. Soon your spirit starts to break. Stop, Ginger G. You won't be able to hold it anymore, Herta says. Human minds will break when people get near 9, but 9 doesn't seem to do it on purpose. Thank you for your hard work. You did a good job. Okay, new thing. Every time an enemy takes damage from a dot, all 8 characters restore HP. I don't have anybody with me that does dots. Well, I suppose any elemental effect is a dot in this. Extends the duration of wind shear, bleed, shock, and burn. Those are all dots. Reduces target enemies' effect resistance. Oh, these are all good. I think I'll take this one. Okay, so I'm only here to play like 2 enemies because I only needed another like 50 stuff to get the final reward. Yeah, I'll just keep recording in case anything interesting happens, but I don't imagine that it will. You don't scare me. I should scare you.
You can fight it or rock with it.
I just had a really fun time doing a destruction run on World 3. What am I doing right now? I'm doing elation. This is also really good. No, do this until you get the elation thing. Yeah, I just did a really fun destruction run where, because I had all of these buffs that relate to like if you've taken lots of damage or your HP is really low, and like the if you don't remember, because I didn't remember, the big R thing that comes up that's like the god's power.
Try that again.
For destruction, that's based on how much difference there is between your max and current HP. So I got Arlen out, who hurts himself to fight, and that was really fun to do a run through like that. It was kind of wild because his HP was always really, really low, and I had to I started with Natasha and the team, and I had to take her out because I was like, no, I need their HP to be low. So yeah, it was a fun time. Anyway, I'll bring you back in if anything else happens with the god, but this is just pretty pro forma, so I'll leave you unless it does. Not sure that I've had these nomadic miners before. So it's dusk and you're standing amidst the heat waves. The atmosphere at the mines makes you dizzy, the mineral veins burning like melted butter. Great Klapoth, Aeon of Preservation, they can hear our voices. The miners raise and dip their shovels like frenzied animals, or the faithful.
What?
Someone notices you. It's the quote-unquote lead miner wearing a detector lamp. His arms are dark and muscular, and his lips are a similar shade of ink. His hearty smile is very memorable. He has a gold tooth that ceaselessly expands and twists in your brain till all you can see is his smile. His lips and eyes fuse together like the melting sludge of paint on a palette. I actually think I have had this one before. The eye reminded me. Klapoth, the blessing of the Amber Lord, preserves these ley lines. You can have one of them. Yeah, give me a two star. I'm trying to get these last few that I have for each one, and it is hard. Yeah, let's grab this one. Yeah, I'll bring you back when I'm done with something else. Hey everyone, this is, oh no, it's playing it back in my ear. I can't have that. This is a combination of Momo from the future and from the past at the same time. Welcome to the episode. I'm not controlling the character right now. The speaking me is not controlling the character right now. It's past me that is in charge of that. Awkward. I played this section and messed up, and my microphone wasn't recording, so I don't have the audio. Sorry. So future me is re-recording it. I haven't watched through this section other than like skipping through a couple key bits to kind of have a vague idea of what's going on. So at the moment, I am preparing for the battle, obviously. Take two. I kind of wasn't sure when I was recording this whether I would win or not. And so I was like, I don't know whether this will even get included. I would guess from looking at some of the levels and the way I'm showing things to you, that in between episodes I've done some leveling up, because look, like everyone's level 50 now, which I don't think everyone was in the previous episode, and it looks, the way I'm waving my mouse around, it looks like I've done some investing in people's traces, but I'm also like, it's actually really hard to level up their traces because it takes resources, and yeah, so it looks like I've also leveled up relics for people as well. So I presume that I'm taking this team, Danhang Serval, Natasha, and March 7th into the fight. Although I don't know if me remembers that one of those people is going to disappear and turn into Jing Yuan. Okay. Great selection. Past Momo. Trying not to like spoil by throwing in a whole lot of meta from episode 101 that I'm up to. So obviously I've subbed out Natasha for Jingyuan because he's going to be stronger and he's also electricity. So that seems like a pretty decent call as these things go. Yeah. So, decisions. We've got 2 DPS units, a support unit, and a healer. It's a pretty good vibe. Pretty sound team comp.
Now I see why the disciples of Sanctus Medicus hold themselves in such high regard.
I commend.
The Arbor's traces really do possess the power of metamorphosis and resurrection.
This will strengthen our position.
I think I said this in the
Fantilia.
previous episode, but it's quite weird that Fantilia is like leveraging the power of abundance to support her as someone who is into destruction. Like, can't help but feel like
Benefactor,
if
behold this
Yalsha
beautiful
got wind of what
body.
was going on, she'd be
The
like,
miracles of abundance live up to the name.
that's against my whole
Let's see if I can put it to good use.
raison d'etre,
The
right?
very power that brought the Cienjo long life, I will use to bring it destruction.
Fantilia has usurped the power of the Arbor.
Yeah, she sure has.
All of you, focus on destroying the Phantom Flowers. I'll go for the body.
So this fight
Victory!
was quite confusing to me the first time. But when you blow up those guys, they give you a skill point.
Naughty children, don't listen.
Wow, it's been ages since I've played with Natasha. I'm
Here
like,
comes the medicine.
oh, and it's because they're on slow mode, so they're all saying like extra lines that they don't normally say. It's always a battle.
Much
Ha ha ha
bark
ha.
with so little bite. Your attacks are futile.
Shut up, meanie. You're a giant.
This body was born of the Arbor. You are but ants.
Yeah, but I mean not the Jinjiji's here.
That's some strong wind.
March, careful!
But, haha, it's funny that Dan Hung is speaking to March even though she's not actually on the battlefield. But we have like a symbolic battlefield that is Dan Hung, March, Jinjiji, Jingyuan. I think that's it, right? That's the team that actually like storyline walked up.
On my command.
Yeah, so in theory, Jinjiji's there, and while none of these guys are born of the Arbor,
All better now?
sure,
Thank you, Comp. Try untangling yourselves from this.
The weeds in my garden give me more grief.
Your arrogance betrays you.
it's so hard not to
The
like
truth
talk
of
about
life and
things that I'm
death
not supposed to know about
revealed
yet.
This sanctuary is but a vision.
Aww, my sweet little boy.
Pilot spirit never dies.
I love Dan Hung so much. Like, he's genuinely one of my favorite characters.
To the clouds!
March actually grows on you. I think you probably guys all see that too now. Like, she's so, like, for all that she's quite, silly,
That's better.
she also has this kind of, like, really genuine and
The
true
wind is
heart that I'm
rising.
like, oh, yeah. Even though you're silly, you're actually, like,
Fighting is meaningless.
you care a lot about people. No, do the middle one, Momo. Oh, well,
Spirit
I suppose
never
it's never
dies.
a bad idea to attack things.
On my command. To
I
victory!
hate this fight.
That'll take more than medicine.
I think you can probably guess from what happened with Cocolia that once you get past these gigantic bosses, you then have the ability to fight them later. And this is one of the ones that I don't enjoy doing, even to this day. Because
Stay the course.
it's just, there's quite a lot of complexity to it. Maybe that's just me, because I I've never been the kind of person who likes to
I am the
bother
vanguard of
focusing
the
on
hunt.
ads. Just seems like
Vanquish
a
the
waste of
abomination.
time. But this is one of those fights where it's kind of worth paying attention to that. Especially in this sort of game where like a lot of the fights, if you kill the main baddie, the ads all die. So it's just kind of like,
Time for
who gives a shit?
show no mercy.
I do love his big guy. You do eventually find out who that big guy is. Just a little spoiler without actually giving you any details.
Crushing
it's
an
not just
ant with
random.
the weight of a star. How indulgent.
Bullshit. Bullshit big thing. But
The
I've got a bullshit
universe
big
will
thing
end
too.
in destruction.
Pantilia.
And with it, the abundance and the hunt will disappear.
Just in time. Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
1,000 thanks.
Yeah, and I've got Natasha on the team and she's kicking ass.
To victory!
Fighting
So
is
these guys
meaningless.
steal...
The truth of life and death with the sanctuary.
No,
is
they
but a
do
vision.
debuffs on you. I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. Or do they still steal skill points? And then like that thing that comes up, I think it says you can dispel their
Spirit
debuffs.
never dies.
Yeah, like use abilities to dispel their debuffs, which I don't know if at this point in
The wind
the
is
story.
rising.
Eventually, Natasha has a debuff dispel for our team when you use her skill on one of the team. But I don't know if she does at this point.
General of the Cienjo, can your
Oh yeah, it's the
You
debuff
take it
that
from here.
is shortening their max health.
Did you think it was over, Fantilia?
Yeah, that's my boy. He's gonna chop you in half.
a scion of permanence?
So,
Have you finally remembered your duty of watching over the arbor?
it wasn't his fault. He had his memories
For
semi
the
gone,
Xianzhou!
and his power's sealed.
Too late to repent.
So, something that like there's so much storyline in this, in particularly episode 39,
Stay the course.
when you like find out about Dan Heng. But one of the things that I didn't really pick up at the time is Jing Yuan explains to us that Dan Heng,
Thank you,
and
Colin.
this is something that only
Here.
like current me has figured out in the last like couple of weeks when I've been editing these episodes. So I will continue to be confused about this for many episodes, even though I'm explaining
Spirit
this to
never
you right
dies.
now. But Dan Heng explains
Still ends to you,
that
Fantilia. So much effort to crush us, and met with so little success. I wonder what the other Ravagers would think.
ooh, he's hassling her. Ooh, what happens?
It's
I don't
almost
think.
as if you can't wait to be acquainted with them. I'm afraid you won't have the chance.
She's mad now.
Just in time. Just a little something. Think nothing of it.
Time to end this.
Summon the Lightning Lord and eliminate the
Out of
flowers.
ideas, Fantilia.
What? Just use his ultimate? Yeah.
Show no mercy.
That's a thing we've done the whole time. Jing Yuan explained to us that
That's better.
I am the vanguard of the hunt.
the High Elder that was done... What was his name before? Lang? Lang? I don't actually
Vanquish the
remember.
abomination.
He did something bad. Still not
truth of life
entirely
and death.
sure on what
Reveal
that
the
bad
sanctuary.
thing was.
But the vision.
It was something... Oh, I'm not actually 100% sure. Maybe you guys know, because maybe the story has actually explained this and I've just forgotten because there's so many different things going on. But anyway, he did something bad and he was tried and
Just in
convicted
time.
and
Just
they
a
were
little
like,
something. Think
you've
nothing
got
of it."
to like properly die for this. But the elders, the other elders, not the High Elder,
The
we're,
wind is rising.
for some reason, like, no, we don't want that to happen. And so we'll, or not properly die. They were going to force him to molt, right? They were going to force him to reincarnate, essentially. But they
1,000 thanks.
they kind of meddled with it so that he at this point in the fight I'm like, oh, this is going so much better than I thought I was expecting it would, and that's great. Sorry, distractions. Will I ever finish any sentence in the history of Anthropology? No, I won't. They did a partial molting, so he kind of lost his memories, but he still had the ability, as we saw, to take it back again, to transform back into this other version of himself that we have seen in the last 2 episodes, and he retained the power of the High Elder, which. There'll be more about this in coming episodes, but just keep this knowledge in the back of your head when we have more storyline involving Violet, okay? I'm not going to say anything more about that, but...
the truth of life and death.
Yes.
Revealed in
it's
an
interesting.
sanctuary.
So here we go. I have explained that to you guys. You can go back to episode 39 and watch it again, where Jing Yuan explains it, because he explains it better than I do. But at the time, there's so much going on, you don't necessarily realize that this is like the key piece of information that explains it.
Touching.
1,000 thanks.
Time to end this. For my next trick, I shall turn each of you into my Void Rangers.
Is that a thing she can do?
The power of the destruction will eat away at your flesh and transform you into pawns of the great Nanook.
I didn't know that was something she did.
Let's start with this arrogant Xianzhou general.
Oh! Storyline! No! Genuine! Morally confusing guy! Save him!
The transformation of the Xianzhou general into a Void Ranger would cast the law fleet back into chaos. Destruction works in fascinating way. What are you?
He's too fucking powerful for you, bitch!
Do it!
Did he just get stabbed in the back? By Don Hung? Like on purpose, obviously.
Not bad, General of the Hunt. But all I lost was a body stolen on a whim.
Yeah, yeah.
And you, how much longer can you last? The destruction of the Xianzhou is nigh.
Be gone, pawn of destruction. Tell the Legion that the vengeance of the Hunt will fall upon them.
Ooh. Our sassy boy.
General, are you okay?
He just got like his meridians flooded with destruction
I'm
energy.
still alive. And it would seem the two of us can still coordinate our efforts.
Mysterious relationship. Were they friends? Were they something more? Who could say?
Vantilia, a truly fearsome enemy. If she hadn't attempted to turn me into a pawn of destruction, I'm afraid victory would have been far from certain.
And why were you able to resist it?
Vantilia had established a link between me and herself. Her well-timed strike gravely injured her. Thus, her connection to the arbor was severed.
Uh-huh.
So it was all part of the plan? When Don Hung stabbed you, I was scared to death.
Is Fantelia still alive?
It takes more than that to destroy an emanator of destruction. Still,
Fantilia won't be stirring up trouble anytime soon. Don't worry about her infecting the arbor again. It's just that sealing the Stellaron is going to take some time.
leave that to the Master Diviner. I'm afraid I may be somewhat spent.
General, keep those eyes open.
Ooh.
Now's not the time to fall asleep.
I don't think he's falling asleep.
Hey, wake up!
I think he's falling unconscious, March. I think. A few moments later, Fushuan and the Cloud Knights arrive. A star skiff was ready to take you somewhere, I guess.
There's inspiration in
There
every
you
glance
go.
and every breeze.
That's complete. And I think that's going to end me needing to talk to you guys, and past me is going to be able to take over. So, yeah. There we go. We better. We better. All that hard work of leveling people up was worth it. Apparently, Ginger G got an Eidolon in the process. The shield applied to all allies from the Trailblazer's talent will block extra damage equal to 2% of the Trailblazer's defense plus 27. I guess that's just an upgrade to the shield. An extra damage. Yeah, okay. I still don't have all the Eidolons for that version of Ginger G. They were a pain to get, as it turned out. Hell, oh, maybe I do. Well, I'm not sure. They're a pain to get, especially if you just focus on main quest, which is what I do because I'm always running behind and trying not to get spoiled. When is this going to end? I don't know. I can't scroll forward to see how much more episode there is. The arbor snaps. All plots avoided, I think, is what that said. There's simulated universe stuff to do. The Arurum. I never learn how to say that word right. Trailblaze mission with Dan Hung. Something. With the banishment of Fantilia, the Shanzhou something. Companion missions. There's so much to do, you guys. You know, I may be 100 episodes in my time, but I still really like this game. It's just like it has its dull stretches for sure. But overall, I just find it really pleasing. It's varied and it's pretty. Yeah, it's a good time. I don't know what's happening. I'm probably saying I'm going to go get a break and have a cup of tea or something, and then I'll see you guys again. Okay. Transferring you to other me. Oh boy, you guys, welcome back. I stuffed up because I didn't record my audio. Didn't have my microphone turned on, did I? All right, let's switch ourselves back to a team that makes sense. My A team. You know, I got to have my A team. Dan Hung is here with no antlers. He's here in spirit. Okay. Wow, we did it. I genuinely did not think we would win that fight. Because all I'd done is push everyone up to as far as I could without going up to equilibrium level 3. I was like,
You
it can't be done. Just seeing that there's a shop here. There's a couple of shops here. I'll just take whatever the fuck that is. This is a bookstore. I asked her if she recommended anything, but she says she doesn't read that much. I don't really care about this. Why are there storytellers aboard the Shan Show? Have you seen other storytellers on other planets? When you put it like that, I can tell you've probably seen storytellers before. All I know is storytelling is a traditional form of performative art, that's true. I don't know much else, but perhaps the boss is using his gig as a storyteller to hang out in the tea houses and hear all kinds of supernatural and weird tales. I feel like this is a tongue-in-cheek reference to Genshin, because there is a whole set of quests around the storytellers and that. How I wish he could pay a little more attention to his bookstore business. Oh well, have you got any books there that you'd like to buy? I'd like to buy a book. Ooh. These are like actual things. Let's get an unsuitable job for a puppet, part 1, 2, and 3. And we can read those some other time. As I say, I have a migraine, so I really shouldn't be looking at a screen right now. The reason I went to talk to that kid, I didn't expect her to chat at me that much, was I was trying to find out how I can level up faster, and one thing online was saying that you should check out all the shops because surprising number of them have stuff that you can buy. So,
would you like me to relay your message?
May I ask, have you come here to the seat of divine foresight on any official business? I can help you pass it on. I want to enter the seat of divine foresight. Could you please wait here a moment? I'll go and report it in for you. Okay, here we go. Sometime later, you arrive at the seat of divine foresight to check on Jing Yuan.
Wait a little moment. The master diviner will be here soon. She's temporarily taken on the general's responsibilities. Before meeting you, she must make the current situation known and fortify public spirit. This is her first real test as a general.
Oh, she's a general
I hope she can
now.
get used to things quickly.
I don't think I can ever get used to this.
I thought she might be in, like, Jing Yuan's clothes.
It's a pleasure to see you all here today. Collating casualties and losses. Dispatching forces to round up the remnants of the disciples. Submitting battle reports to the 6 charioteers. Now I know what Jing Yuan meant when he said, "The highest throne faces the strongest wins."
You can share your troubles with us.
Generalship is no trifling matter. It is a duty one must bear. I think she actually really enjoys it.
Master Diviner, have you summoned us here just to sigh and complain?
Of course not. On the contrary, I am eager to thank you all in my official capacity as acting general of the Luofu. Now that things have drawn to a conclusion, it is time to reward you.
I just noticed that Dan Heng's hanging out back here just looking completely normal, and they haven't explained that at all.
Ooh, all those benefits that the general promised. They're finally here! Yippee! Yes. The Astral Express has braved great evil for the Luofu. Your devotion is evident. After discussions with the 6 charioteers, You are henceforth sworn allies of the Luofu. Within the Luofu's jurisdiction, you are to be treated with the highest standard of diplomatic protocol.
Which is exactly what Kafka wanted. Ah!
On behalf of the Astral Express, I would like to thank you, Master Diviner.
Sorry.
Wow. Nothing tangible then? But at least it sounds pretty cool. Now that things have been expressed, I still have something to discuss with you. Please, this way.
Oh, I hope Jingyuan's okay. I also hope you didn't just hear me fart. Welcome to Anthropology Kitty. I'm just gonna check that there's nothing cool for me to steal before I leave. I think I've already done that in this area, but Shenzhou Alliance Declaration, Surveillance Report, General's Diary. I don't know which general is this? Is this Jingyuan? I'm gonna use his voice. I was wandering around the Exalting Sanctum today, and I saw a foreign paladin piddling along the street. I went up and found they were selling pets. The animal I saw was looked like a house cat, but its body was much smaller. It was lying down on a mat in a bamboo cage, purring and meowing affectionately. However, after the ambrosial arbor took root, most of the Shenzhou people preferred large and strong pets. I asked the paladin why this animal was so small, and if anyone had shown interest in buying it. The person responded that it's true that the Shenzhou people like large and strong pets, but there are also those who love petite and delicate ones. Now that he saw the sparkle in my eyes, he expected I must be the latter. Perhaps it was fate. I couldn't refuse. The person who also said that the small animal called a grimalkin is called a grimalkin, and it was one of the species that the ancestors of the Shenzhou loved to keep during the primeval imperial era. Today, the strong Shenzhou house cat evolved from the small grimalkin. This was in line with what I'd read in old texts. However, the grimalkin had been extinct for many years. This made me suspicious, and I inquired about its origin. The person swore to me that although grimalkins were extinct in Shenzhou, they were bred on many other planets. This animal is truly just an ordinary white grimalkin. It was neither genetically modified, nor was it an invasive species, so I could rest assured. How could I turn down looking after such a long-extinct little animal to help continue its lineage, especially after petting those tender little paws? Eventually, I paid a hefty sum for the grimalkin, named it Mimi, and took it home. Only that I'm too busy with official business and have little time to take care of Mimi. After thinking it over, chores like feeding it and changing its water should also be trusted to Qingzu. Okay. Still don't know which general that was. Could have been either of them. I mean, we do know that Jingyuan has a cat, right? Did it grow?
Seriously? Thanking us like that and then immediately sending us on another mission? It's not a mission. The Stellaron Crisis, the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus Rebellion, the Arbor's Resurrection. Not to mention the Antimatter Legion infiltrating the Luofu. All of these incidents need reporting at the highest level for investigation. It's just that, having been in the middle of everything, I'm struggling to keep an accurate perspective. I would appreciate if you could go through it all with me, so that I can reacquaint myself with a finer detail.
Okay.
So, where should we begin?
We should start with the beginning. Let's discuss the Stellaron Hunters.
The Stellaron Hunters. We know just as little. But in the Matrix of Prescience, I saw a prophecy that Kafka received from Destiny's slave. Elio foresaw all manner of possibilities for the Lawfu. Based on what Kafka knows, and despite everything being under the control of Elio, that prophecy is indeed the most beneficial future for the Lawfu. The Stellaron hunters walked right into our trap, and even gifted allies, in the form of yourselves, to the Xianzhou. That might sound self-interested, but I hope the feeling is mutual. Now that the future has come true, the Xianzhou has discovered the Legion's intentions, and with everyone's help, has imposed a crushing defeat on Phantilia.
The disciples of Sanctus Medicus were kind of just pawns, but I feel like they're doing this... Okay, so for those who are not deep in Honkai blah-de-blah, I think in terms of like the timeline in our world, there's been a gap between the fight where we killed Phantilia and this mission starting. I think that they were like two releases apart, essentially. And so they're narratively reminding people of what had happened, I believe. Let's talk about the disciples of Sanctus Medicus.
When the ambrosial arbor was severed by the Rainbow Arbiter thousands of years ago, the abundance became a taboo. Those within the Alchemy Commission, the original masters of the so-called Way of Immortality, were ruined at a stroke. The Commission became a shadow of its former self.
So they were always mad about
from
it.
that moment on, the seeds of discord for the disciples of Sanctus Medicus had already been planted. Some of them were willing to work with the enemy, acquiring a Stellaron from the Antimatter Legion to try and revive the abundance.
Okay, so that clears up where the Stellaron came from.
They succeeded all right. But why would Phantilia's objective to be to realize their wishes? Those traitors gained nothing. They betrayed the Xianzhou only to become sacrificial offerings in the Lord Ravager's grand scheme.
I mean, that makes sense from Phantilia's perspective, and they were just, like, so fanatical. I could believe that they were so fanatical that they just didn't realize that they were being used. What was Phantilia trying to achieve? That's less clear. So let's talk about her.
It appears that Phantilia was the mastermind behind it all. The Xianzhou warred with the Antimatter Legion in the past, and ever since we have kept a watchful eye on their movements. Few could have foreseen the insidious tactics employed in the execution of their assaults. The Lord Ravager slithered in unnoticed, clandestinely plotting and machinating, and surreptitiously bestowed a Stellaron upon the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. This heinous act instigated an uprising aimed at luring the Lawfu into a perilous trap of self-destruction.
Right, so she was just trying to fuck up
posed by the Legion clearly demands a reevaluation.
The Alliance.
We should proceed cautiously.
I think we've got the gist of it.
That we may. But as logical as things might seem, there are still many details about which we're uncertain.
That's true.
For example, how was the Stellaron brought onto the Xianzhou? And who sent it onto Scale Gorge Waterscape? How many disciples of Sanctus Medicus still remain at large? All of this is a mystery. Thus far, we've done our best. I'm submitting my report to the Alliance, and I've already got a plan in mind. All of you will feature in the report, but for the sake of Jinyuan, anything related to Xianzhou internal affairs will have names redacted. I hope you can forgive me.
I was about to make the same request, Master Diviner. Since the Arbor's resurrection, I'm sure the Alliance will be poring over every detail of the report. I fear that if the Astral Express gets dragged into matters, leaving will not be an easy task.
Jingyuan has committed quite a few violations this time around, and I'll have to deal with them one by one. Cloud Knight generals are all such a hassle. Before you leave, please make time to recuperate. If there's anywhere you'd like to visit, feel free to take a look. I must attend to some Cloud Knight matters. Farewell for now. Oh, if you pass through Starskiff Haven, I have something that I hope you can give to Yukong.
Have we met Yukong so far in the storyline? Something Miss Tingyuan, I think. Yuan. Left behind?
It was all so chaotic. When Fantilia took form, it was as if Tingyun vanished into thin air. The Cloud Knights were only able to find her fan. She took it with her everywhere. It's currently unclear if Tingyun was a puppet manipulated by Fantilia, or if some form of deception was used to cloud her vision. I'm already prepared for the worst. Considering how the Legion operates, I fear the fate of the Skyfaring Commission Ambassador may be a bleak one. As for how matters are handled with regards to Tingyun, I believe it's best left to her Foxian ken. I have informed the Skyfaring Commission of the events which took place, and I think it would be best if you were the one to deliver this item to Yukong.
I understand. Leave it with us.
Was Yukong the one that we
Mr.
met?
Yang. Now, let me take a look at my remaining duties for the day. It's quite the list.
Was she the one that we met really early on when we first arrived and Tingyuan took us to meet some lady, and that lady was really stiff and unimpressed with us? I think that might have been her.
It's getting late. If you need me, I'll be in the Divination Commission Conclave Hall.
Ooh. There used to be a pair, but one has gone missing. Oh, that's sad. Plate on the file repository reads, list of arch nemesis? What? You reach out to the scroll, but your fingers are stopped by an invisible barrier. It seems like you need to get permission to touch it. So our current quest is to head to the Palace of Astrum to give Yukong the item. And we have an option to plan for the future after discussions with your companions. I actually think that we might be at the end of the currently released storyline, which is exciting.
Things have come to a close for now. It's good that you came through unscathed.
What are we going to do next?
The Master Diviner asked us to pass on this item of Tingyun's. I'll go to the Palace of Astrum and meet with Yukong. If neither of you has anything urgent, it'd be best if you came too.
Yeah, of course. I'll ask him that other question too.
How am I going to break this to Madame Yukong?
Oh.
Maybe she's already heard the news.
I would hope so.
How am I going to break this to Madame Yukong?
I didn't know that they ever said extra things, so that's kind of good to know.
Oh, well, we had a lot of stumbles along the way, but we still managed to kick butt and save the Law Fu without breaking a sweat.
There was a bit of sweat.
It feels kind of surreal.
Maybe this was all fate.
You don't sound very happy.
I mean, I do feel like I'm a bit of a puppet.
It may seem like the Stellaron Hunters are controlling everything, but we create our own future. No matter how powerful they are, they can't make a future that doesn't exist come true. Since showing up, we've saved a lot of people and averted disaster for the whole Xianzhou.
That's true.
Who cares whether someone or something was directing it? Be happy.
What are your plans?
Actually, I was wondering if Diviner Fu could do me a favor.
Really?
The Matrix of Prescience has amazing powers and can iterate and reiterate Kafka's past. So it got me thinking, if I turned the Matrix on me, could it calculate my past?
Great question. Pretty smart.
Yep. When you're free, let's head over to the Divination Commission together and ask them for a favor.
Okay. We can definitely do that.
Well, here's hoping the Matrix is accurate and that Diviner Fu won't decline our request.
Done. Hung. What is going on with you? Are you a dragon or not a dragon?
Returning to the Luofu and Scale Gorge waterscape. It's a surreal feeling. I left so determined. Who would have thought that circumstances would draw me back once more?
It's not like the Xianzhou have done anything to you yet.
There are only a handful of individuals who know my identity now. I do not wish to guess what could occur if word gets out. But at least for now, I'm safe.
What do you want to do next?
I want to meet the current High Elder of the Vidyadhara. It seems I won't be able to cast off Danfang's negative karma. So I'd like to learn more about his past. I want to find out what I can do to make up for his sins.
Yeah, and hopefully for us at least, find out what those sins actually are.
If you're planning on an extended stay on the Luofu, I'm afraid I won't be able to join you. I'm sorry.
So wait, do we have to choose one of these, or can we... I'm confused. We have to help March, we have to meet with Miss Fu. And she said that she was going to be where? What? Oh, there's a puppy that needs our help, you guys. I wonder if I look at our missions. Himeko. This is all in Yorilo 6. This is all those other folks. Okay. We don't have those quests yet. Oh, we've got a friend request from someone. Hi, friend Mimi. Hello. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. It's not ticked.
I want to meet the current High Elder if she can tell me more about Danfang's actions. Then perhaps I can do something to make up for his sins.
The Ambrosial Arbor is dormant. Thanks to everyone's hard-fought battles, the Luofu is safe once more.
I wonder if those bosses are still there.
Before he left, the general told me to handle things at the seat of divine foresight. Fortunately, now that victory has been achieved, the plans we prepared will never see the light of day. However, the general did order that if he were unable to return to duty, then the Master Diviner would take over his duties temporarily.
What do you plan on doing with the Ambrosial Arbor?
What do we plan on doing? Thousands of years ago, the Xianzhou Alliance was at its wits' end trying to deal with it. Today, nothing's changed. The Arbor was resurrected. Aside from the Arbiter's Lux arrow, I'm afraid that nothing can materially harm it. We might be able to suppress it with the help of the Videodora, but with internal strife ravaging their ranks, I'm afraid it's a long shot.
Okay.
If you can locate exactly where the Stellaron is within the Arbor, then the Express might be able to help out.
Thank you for your kind offer, Mr. Yang. But something as important and fundamental as the Ambrosial Arbor will require a meeting and deliberation from the 6 Charioteers.
So my impression from that is like they've got the attack that was happening under control, but the Ambrosial Arbor is still alive and probably still spitting out monsters. How's the general doing?
Alas, I'm no healer. I'm afraid I couldn't say.
We still don't know what happened to What's-His-Face with his coffin.
I ordered a military doctor to provide the most comprehensive emergency treatment they could. The Alchemy Commission was caught up in the Sanctus Medicus conspiracy. It took a lot of work to find someone trustworthy enough to heal the general.
Is it Bailu?
If we can help, don't hesitate to ask. I don't know much about medicine, but there are lots of ways to seal wounds and prevent injuries from worsening.
Don't worry. Long-life species are resilient and strong. The
Her
general
outfit's
will pull
great.
through. He's faced down situations 100 times more dangerous than this.
Okay. Fu Xuan seems to be handling things pretty well.
Better to wait until the Master Diviner has another 20 or 30 years under her belt. Subduing the enemy is one of the most minor parts of a general's work. They have to meet with the Laofu's 6 Charioteers and undergo 10 Lords' Commission inspections, all while dealing with the Xianzhou Alliance's top brass. None of it is easy to navigate, but it's a daily responsibility. The crown of a general sits heavy on the head indeed. Ah, I almost forgot. I need to gather data for the Master Diviner's draft report. Bye for now.
I just was registering how cute her outfit is. Like, the shorts with the high waist and the little military top. That would be really fun to cosplay. Okay. I guess these long-life species probably have quite a perspective on like age and wisdom. Like,
high-end barge, the best choice for galactic commerce.
It's probably not a weird thing for them to say, like, oh, a person needs another 20 years of experience. Should we jump here? I'm worried we're gonna, like, miss something, you know? What's this? For I have touched the sky. Because purple missions are for our team, right? Ugh. I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, you guys.
It's getting late.
Oh, it's the doggo.
Where to now?
Yep, I'm trying to interact with you. Woof, woof, woof. Evidently, you guessed some vocabulary right and communicated with Deeting. However, this is not enough. Find someone who can understand. Speaking of someone who can understand Deeting's woof, you immediately think of March 7th. Let's go. I'll bring you to March 7th. Frosty Blade's trial. Tell me more about this mission. Which symbol of these do we think is missions? Backpack? No, that's surely inventory. Missions! Unfortunately, you can't understand a single thing said by Deeting and vice versa. Can't you find anyone on the Shanzhou's ship who could understand the dog's bark? Speaking of dog's barks, you might know someone. I bet this will be Frosty Blade's trial. I bet this will be, our bossy boy. I'm gonna just switch it off this quest because I want to hear a little bit more about this before we leave, and hopefully I won't fuck anything up in the process. Hang on. That has not switched my quest. And these are all still available, even though we left Yurilo sick, so hopefully it's fine. Yeah. I was right. She was the lady that was in here. I had no memory of that. Views of the universe. Who knows when we'll be allowed to come back in here again. Summary of Chronicles. What? Little one, what are you doing here? Is this something you're allowed to touch? Who are you? How dare you ask who I am? That doesn't matter. You're not allowed to touch Madame Yukong's things. Good thing no one saw. Hurry up and put it down. I am Yanming, a Celestial Guild envoy attached to the Skyfaring Commission. You can consider me half a maritime trade officer. Previously, I followed the Merchant Guild and was dispatched to other star systems for about 150 years. If there's something you want to know, feel free to ask me, and don't touch stuff without permission. Are you trying to lord your seniority over me? I've met people like you during my time in the guilds beyond the sky, straight to the point, and can't read the room. But I don't mind people like you in business. Your kind is still better than the two-faced backstabbers. If you never heard of the Celestial Guild, you've at least heard of the Whistling Flames, right? The Whistling Flames Guild that Tingyun works for got in bed with the trade delegations from 16 worlds and turned the Grand Fair into an intergalactic festival. I dare say that girl is next in line to succeed Madame Yukong. Oh no! I'm boring you with all this rambling. However, long lived your species. When you get over, you'll tend to lecture on like a teacher. My attitude was a little rough, so I want to make it up by giving you this. But let me emphasize that if there's anything you want to know, just ask me instead of touching things. We got some enchantment paste? Oh, I don't want to tell her someone she loved is dead. I'm just going to check the other side of the room for more stuff for me to steal. Look, it's designed for me to steal it. Views of the universe, it's the same thing we saw on the other side.
There's a poem that says, "Bright are the silver moon in the morning sun, yet life's blessed rest with the star-sown sky."
That's pretty. Thank you. Okay, I'm so sorry.
I see. Please extend my regards to the 10 lords.
I will.
Oh, it's that judge
Our
that we met.
condolences, Hellmaster. You have guests. I shall take my leave.
Okay, so someone else has passed the news on first.
On behalf of the Skyfaring Commission, I would like to thank the crew of the Express for saving the Law Fu from the Stellaron crisis.
Well, we didn't do it alone.
Madame Yukong must have heard about Miss Tingyun.
Yes, I have heard. Seeing 4 leave, yet only 3 return, was enough for me to know that Fu Xuan's report was indeed correct.
Miss Tingyun left this behind.
Tingyun. I still can't believe it. The whole report reads like a bad joke. It's simply unimaginable. The Antimatter Legion on the Xianzhou, and Tingyun, a Lord Ravager? How could someone who spent over 30 years working alongside me at the Skyfaring Commission turn out to be nothing more than a monster in disguise? What happened to the real Tingyun?
Madam Yukong.
I'm sorry. I understand. It's just hard for me to accept. Thank you for bringing Tingyun's belongings back to the Palace of Astrum. The Stellaron crisis has cost us too many comrades. Brothers, sisters, children. I'd like to invite all of you, as witnesses to this war, to a soul-soothing ceremony hosted by the Skyfaring Commission. Will you consider?
Of course.
A soul-soothing ceremony?
To put it into short life terms, a funeral. You see, for long-life species of the Xianzhou, death has always been a distant, mystical concept.
I don't want to distract you guys, but the low resiness of this thing in the background is really irritating the fuck out of me. But anyway, serious words.
Ordinarily, the Ten Lords Commission guides people to the Hall of Karma before any symptoms of Mara are detected. There, they leave behind their lives and wait for their time to come. People are used to a short farewell as opposed to a tedious burial process. Given our limited lifespans, the only ones who place value on ceremony are us Foxians. Countless Cloud Knights lost their lives or became Mara-struck during the crisis. The Hall of Karma couldn't take them all in, and so they passed away. All of these sudden deaths and unfulfilled wishes remind us that long-life species still live out insignificant and limited lives. By combining Skyfaring Commission technology with Foxian ceremony, we honor those who have passed on. We place items of the dead onto star skiffs and send them out to sail between the stars.
Right, we read about
shine
that.
Brightly among them. It's not just to comfort the dead, those souls who can never talk with us again, but also to comfort their surviving relatives, close friends, and indeed all residents of the Xianzhou. It's also my way of saying farewell to Tingyun. I know, I'm selfish.
She's
She
not
may not have
selfish.
died a Cloud Knight, but she's still one of us here at the Skyfaring Commission. A victim caught up in a wider conflict.
Yeah.
I'd like to hold this ceremony as a way of distancing the memory of Tingyun from the Lord Ravager who tarnished her identity.
That's fair.
I can still hardly believe it. I'll use my own methods to locate Tingyun's whereabouts, but at present, this is the least I can do for her. I'd like to ask you all to witness this event with me.
How can we help?
I've instructed Yen Ming to sort through Tingyun's belongings. I hope you can pick some out to place around the star skiff.
Leave this to
Didn't
us.
she have any real
We'll
friends?
take care of it as per your wishes, Madam Yukong.
Maybe they're all too cut
Once
up about
again,
it.
my thanks to all of you. I've asked the judges of the Ten Lords Commission to ratify this soul-soothing ceremony, and have commissioned a special skiff at Stargazer Navalia for the ceremony. If you need anything, that's where I'll be.
Okay. Ooh, rough. I like how they're talking about, like, the fact that everybody's lost somebody. You know, so often in these things, you see all this, like, death and destruction, and then it's just like, well, we beat the bad guys, and it's all over now. And they kind of never talk about the loss that theoretically would have been involved. So this is nice.
You always did say that I like to gossip, and here I am rambling on, proving you right again. If only you were here to cut me off.
Mr. Yanming? Oh, we just talked to him before.
Oh. It's you. For a moment, I thought she'd returned. Did the Helm Master send you over?
We're here to help sort out Miss Tingyun's things. Madam Yukong wants to use some of them for her soul-soothing ceremony.
Well, I've managed to get through pretty much everything. It's all in this box. Please, take your time.
I presume these are her work belongings rather than, like, everything she owns,
Okay,
because...
let's see what there is. An Amicassator seal, a small box, a knife, a bow, and something wrapped up tight. I wonder what this is. Looks like some kind of antique? But who'd want to hold on to something like this?
I do. Let's keep it.
Ting Yun explained that one to me. It's a folk statuette from Foxian antiquity. They say it can bring wealth if placed correctly.
Right, the waving cat, right?
There's also a note in the package. This is for you, Mr. Yenming. Wishing you fortune and success in every endeavor. Yenming, it seems like this is a gift for you from Miss Ting Yun.
I remember asking her for one at the time. This is unexpected. I only mentioned it in passing, but she remembered. Ting Yun and I were from different guilds. We were competitors, but also colleagues.
It also implies that she knew that something was going to happen to her at some point.
When we used to trade in other lands, we would bring back local specialties and distribute them among friends and other guild members. It became a custom. The rivalry between us and the Whistling Flames to be the Skyfaring Commission's top guild was always fierce. We would gift each other all kinds of bizarre oddities. Candy that made your leg hair grow. A violin that could shatter glass with its piercing shriek. Oh, I was completely unprepared for this. I never thought Ting Yun would leave something behind for me that was so sincere and earnest.
Can we check that it's not a bomb?
If I don't return a gift, I'll lose our little duel. But what could I possibly gift her back?
Huh. Besides the seal, the knife, and the bow, none of this seems like something Miss Ting Yun would have kept. I thought she was more about jewelry and beauty. Could there be other things similar to what Yenming got? We should take a look.
Let's take another look at that knife.
I can't cook to save my life, but one thing I'm sure of is that's a kitchen knife. I've never seen Miss Ting Yun use anything like that to defend herself. It must be another gift that she never had time to send. There's an ad in the knife case. Spices Supreme. A room alley? Which store is that again?
Wow, I've been pronouncing that really differently. What's in the box?
There's nothing else, except a handful of seeds. It looks like there's something printed on the bottom of the box. The Sleepless Earl. Let me think. Where have I seen that name before?
Makes me think of tea. I want to take a look at the bow.
This bow. It's a good bow. It couldn't be meant for me, could it?
I'm sure you weren't the only archer she knew. It'll be for you, Kong, right?
All right, just kidding. Just trying to liven things up around here.
We should get going.
Do you know where we're supposed to take these things?
Ooh. Sent to the Sleepless Earl. Sent to Spices Supreme. It's a jade seal. An archery set gifted for someone unknown. An archery set with supreme balance. Surprisingly, it seems to have been completely handcrafted. No Shanzhou technology was used to create it, and the arrow can't track enemy or automatically make turns. So it's like an old-fashioned style thing. Interesting. That's the third time we've picked that up. I'll read this just because I feel like it might be important the way we've seen it multiple times. Great-grandma said, "If I ne'er live to see the fires of Zhuming, then all my wandering in the cosmos would be for naught." Ha! Now that I think about it, she always has a whole load of cheesy habits of speech just like this. Can I say that? Going on about how if I ne'er live to see the Crystal Palace of Thalassa, or ne'er live to see Pier Point, or ne'er live to see planet Skrulum. Basically, everywhere she's praised probably has sights worth seeing. And if it's on the Alliance's turf, then there's nothing stopping a pilot from going there. But before I was forced to visit, the Shenzhou Zhuming has always been a place I thought was better than not to avoid. Why? It's because of the preconceived... This is a typo. It's because of the preconceived ideas I held, thinking that it was a blazing hot furnace that is on fire everywhere. It's drilled into us from day one at the Skyfaring Commission that fire beats fur every time. A key part of being a Foxian pilot involves spraying ourselves with fire retardant gel before each sortie. What? So I have pretty good reasons to be scared of the Zhuming. But that day, my mission to the Zhuming inexorably, I hate saying that word out loud, came along. The Yaoqing's crane feather orbit fleet was tied up in conflict against the denizens of abundance and proximity to the Owenly and other close-by planets, stalling their main forces. The Military Affairs Office put me into a delegation with another dozen people and stuffed us into a Navis Astringer headed for the Zhuming to request arms and reinforcements. Through the porthole, I bore witness for the first time to this huge furnace. No, it had nothing to do with any kind of furnace at all. The Shanzhou Zhuming is like an intricately carved golden lotus, gradually unfolding its lustrous leaves around the cone-shaped central hull, bathed blue under the light of an azure star. It's peaceful, tranquil, and peaceful. Is this also a Shanzhou ship? It's nothing like those flying skyboats we've learnt in the Guild's records. This exchange scholar from the Intelligentsia Guild next to me looked on at me half astounded, half curious as they vocalized just what I was thinking. Yeah, seems like the craft masters who built the ship were not only liberal in form, but also liberal in definition. I laughed. After all, it's been over 7,000 years since those huge migrant vessels set sail, and the residents have completely transformed them beyond all recognition. There's a similar concept in philosophy. What's it called again? The ship of Polka? No, the ship of Scrusus. They're talking about, what is it called? The ship of Theseus? Is it? Where it's like... if you haven't heard of it before, it's like, is it still the ship of, let's say it's Theseus, I can't remember who exactly it was, when, like, it's been, when he's repaired it so much over time that there's not a single part of it that's the original ship anymore. Is it still that thing? Yeah. I don't blame her, though. People always form preconceived notions about places they've never been to. I'm no different, right? In my imagination, the Zhuming was this big, clumsy furnace, sparks splattering everywhere, and muscular craftsmen smashing their blacksmith hammers down. I'm sorry. I've obviously been to too many worlds with a low level of civilization, and have completely forgotten that Shanzhou artifacts technology is on the bleeding edge, with the Zhuming being among the most advanced of all. This feeling is most evident when stepping into the Starskiff named Radiant Zenith. It's like dipping into a cool, fresh pool of water with light filtered into a comfortable, soothing honey yellow. The vast Starskiff platform seems to be entirely chiseled out of a single block of moonstone, so big that it disappears over the horizon. Even more astonishing is the seamless integration of the structure's frame into the port, as if it's an array of metal organically sprouting from the minerals below. Without a doubt, this proud and blatant display of craftsmanship was sculpted deliberately to debunk any of the biased ideas Outworlders might have formed before they arrived on the Zhuming. And the person that the Artisanship Commission leader sent to welcome our delegation is this little kid barely in his teens. Master Huayan sent me here to receive you. The shy and juvenile voice and the lack of pointy ears shows no possibility of him being a child-looking elder, a Vidyara with delayed physical development. Now that I think about it, he must be a personal disciple of Master Huayan, a wunderkind plucked from who knows where. Wunderkind. Greetings, esteemed delegation guests. I am a craftsman of the Zhuming Artisanship Commission. My name is Yingxing. Master Huayan is busy with the preparation of new armaments and has sent me in his place to receive you. In fact, I also have a lot of work to do, and I won't live very long, unlike the Celestials on the Shanzhou. So please, if you hurry along behind me, then we can complete the handover process faster. This craftsman welcoming us is actually a short-life species? I'm nearly fatigued from surprise already. How else does the Shanzhou Zhuming plan on surprising me? ... So I presume this is a record from Yukong from a long time ago, when she first arrived, because we know she's a pilot, because she talks about being a pilot. Anyway, I think we're going to be doing stuff for a while, figuring out how to give these gifts to various people. So, I think I'll stop just because I'm not feeling very well today. Yeah, cool. So much to do. Amazing. I can't believe we finally got through that fight. I'm really pleased about that because I don't like feeling like I've been artificially choked in story progression. So we won't have to force our way through a whole lot of quests in pursuit of Equilibrium level 3. It will hopefully just come as we... Because I'll do this and then I want to prioritize Dan Heng's mission because he's in our team, and I'm really kind of... I hope that they will kind of explain his transformation in that mission. Yeah. I don't know why Bailu's hanging out in the background. Maybe she will... Well, they might be related, right? Or at least they're from the same clan, so it might be part of the story. So, as always, thank you for joining me, everybody. Lots to do in the next episode. Yeah. What a time. What a time to be alive. Thanks for joining. See you next time, everyone.